diss the wrong ops, and they might crash out in ways you never imagined. But Bronx rapper Suave Drilly, he pushed his enemies so far, they threw their freedom away right in front of a parole office. Yeah, you heard that right. This is the story of a man who refused to change, a soldier who stayed loyal to the Drillies until his very last breath, and a crash out who made the Bronx streets burn so hot, his ops were willing to risk it all just to take him down. This is the rise and fall of Suave Drilly, October 15th, 2025, South Bronx, 5 p.m. Suave Drilly walks into his parole office for a routine meeting. He'd been on parole since 2024, and honestly, this was supposed to be one of the safest places in the city. Cameras everywhere, officers inside, security, but that didn't matter. A woman outside notices 3 men in ski masks walking toward the building. She immediately calls the police, but before they could arrive,
"We need a bus at 79 Alexander Ave." 79 Alexander K. 89 Alexander the parole officer. One individual has been shot.
Suave walks out. The masked men don't hesitate. They run him down. Shots ring out. Suave Drilly is gunned down right there. Steps away from his parole officer's door. His parole officer rushes outside, calls for help, tries to save him, but it's too late. Suave dies at the hospital. Gone, just like that. And the Bronx? The Bronx erupted. News of Suave's death spread fast. And his enemies? They celebrated. Sea Blue hopped online and started clowning him. Lil Che threw shots too. The same Lil Che that Suave claimed he stomped out and robbed for his chain. We'll get to that in a minute, but here's the thing. Nobody knows who actually pulled the trigger. Suave had enemies across every block in the Bronx. The list was long, and now, the Drillies wanted blood. Word is, an OG locked up inside ordered the crew to get revenge. Because losing Suave, that was a massive blow. He wasn't just another member. He was day one. He was there when the Drillies were born. And to understand why his death hit so hard, we gotta go back. Way back, rewind to 2018. The Bronx drill scene was just heating up. Gangs were forming. Alliances were breaking. And in the middle of it all was a young dude named Spaz Drilly. Spaz and his homie Dumbout came from G-Side, repping the Bloodhound Brims. They were tight. Brothers, really. But then, at a barbecue in 2018, Dumbout got stabbed to death. Just like that. Over nothing. That tragedy sparked everything. Spaz broke off and started his own crew, the Drillies. And right by his side, Suave, they grew up together. Same blocks, same struggles, same enemies. Suave wasn't just joining a gang, he was building something from the ground up with his brother. While Spaz started chasing a music career, Suave stayed in the streets, putting in work, making sure the Drillies' name rang bells. Spaz started dropping music in 2016, grinding for years. Then in 2020, he dropped Bunny Hop, and it blew up. The Drillies were finally on the map, but Suave, he wasn't trying to be a rapper. He was a street dude through and through, until Spaz convinced him to get on a beat. Suave wrote one verse, jumped in the booth, and dropped Op Spider with Spaz and Good Day Ray. And man, the kid had bars. Raw, gritty, real. He said it himself. "I was the legend, post it. You was at home. Forfeit. I was on the Ray, off it. He throw up thumbs, off it. Got him. Then he went in. Why they capping like we don't carry heat? And we been in the streets. Knox was deadly. You know I punched him in the sleep. K was lacking. He ain't know I was a creep. Wait, K was lacking? Yeah, he's talking about K Flock. Suave didn't just rap about catching ops lacking. He claimed he really did it. And the biggest name on that list? K Flock. In a 2024 interview with P Films, Suave detailed the whole thing.
So I'm like, damn, it's a girl and a boy. So I'm walking, I get close, I see it's him. We lock eyes and shit. Yeah, and it's up after that. It started getting it on. We didn't really get it on. I beat the shit out of him. I ain't gonna cap.
Said he caught K Flock slipping in his own hood and stomped him out inside a building. He couldn't get the footage to prove it, but he swore it happened. And then there's Lil Che. Suave claimed he and his crew jumped Che and snatched his chain. And he didn't just say it in interviews. He put it on wax. In his track, Ali, he rapped, "Jay got robbed. Luce got robbed. I can't be stopped, Ali." Now we can't confirm every detail of these stories. But what we do know, Suave made powerful enemies, and he wasn't afraid to talk about it. But all that crashing out came with consequences. Before Suave ever stepped in a booth, he was already deep in the system. 18? Gun charge 2019. Arrested for attempted murder. Bonded out for $50,000. Got into a courthouse fight and got booked again. Then hit with reckless endangerment charges. Bailed out again. Suave was reckless, fearless, and it showed. Despite all the legal drama, he kept rapping. Dropped Op Spotter, another diss track aimed at his enemies. But soon after, he got locked up again. This time for 4 years, and while he was locked up, the feds were watching the Drillies. In 2022, the Bronx PD had seen enough. They launched Operation Drilly, a massive sweep designed to take the whole crew down. 20 members indicted, accused of over 30 violent acts. The charges were brutal. In 2019, they almost stabbed a man walking home from school. And then in 2021, tragedy struck in the worst way. Delilah Vasquez, a young woman tied to both the YGs and the Drillies, shot and killed. Rumors swirled. Was she backdoored? Was it an accident? Nobody really knows. But her death shook the Bronx. C-Blue wasted no time dissing her. In Right Now Part 2, he rapped, "Like how many ops just died? Delilah got put in the sky, heard that Lil got shot in her eye. Now that Lil can go be with Dummy, trying to run up, boy, he was a dummy. That's cold, but suave." From behind bars, he fired back. In back of my bully, he said, "R.I.P. Delilah. That shit had me sick. That should be wrong when they talk about sips." So we spinning. The P's looking for the rips. So we spinning. The P's looking for a hit. Even locked up, Suave was still at war. Suave was facing up to 15 years in prison. The DA offered him 10 years. He said no. They came back with 8 years. He said no again. Why? Because Suave believed he could beat it. Or maybe he just didn't care. Finally, in 2023, after already serving time, he took a 4-year plea deal. But prison wasn't safe for him either. When they transferred him upstate, inmates tried to backdoor him, slashed him across the face. They wanted him dead, but Suave survived.
Next thing you know, like, I'm in my cube one day laying down and shit. I get cut over the cube. For me, so like my first reaction, I'm not thinking I'm cut. So when I touch my face, it's like, oh, I feel the blood. So I just start banging out.
And in 2024, he came home. First thing he did, visited his daughter. He posted it on Instagram, a rare moment of peace in a life full of chaos.
I seen her one time, like throughout the 4 years, I seen her one time and shit.
Yeah.
So, and it was closer to when I was getting released. I seen her in May, like right before my birthday and shit. Yeah. So when I seen her, it was like the second time I really seen her in a while.
But that peace didn't last long. Suave came home to a different Bronx. The drill scene had cooled down. Most of the drillies were locked up on RICO charges. The wave had passed. But Suave, he didn't care. He went right back to the streets. Dropped back on my bully. Still dissing. Still talking reckless. He rapped, "Don't no flock, cause you know I'm big drilly. Empty the clip. If I spot me a rippy, I just came home and I spent me a 50. As a label, I got my own milli. Then in 2025, he dropped Exposing Me. He said, "I'm getting money. I don't want to see y'all. Keep dying. I don't want to be y'all. Free all the bros who didn't get low. Who got shot, like who got poked. Be with the G's, be with the Globes. I don't them that's jacking an O. He was free. He had a daughter. He could have walked away, but Suave couldn't let it go. Even in his late 20s, with a kid at home, Suave kept crashing out. And not just on ops, on random civilians too. He beat up a man in the park for playing an ops music. Posted the video on Instagram.
Nah, I'm jacking him. Yo, that holding on to his bike for dear life. He knew, sir.
Said it was the same park where he stomped out Lil Che. He allegedly ran over an op and posted that video too. Knocked someone out in the street and shared the security footage. And then, he attacked someone from his own block for giving ops a pass. Kicked him. Spit on him. No mercy. Suave wasn't just a rapper. He was a crash out. A soldier who refused to change. And that made him a target. October 15th, 2025. 3 masked men, 1 parole office, and Suave Drilly's life ends in the streets he never left. Now, rumors are swirling. Some say he was backdoored by his own people. Others say it was his ops finally catching him slipping. We don't know for sure. What we do know, the locked up Drillies are calling for revenge. But here's the problem. The crew is gone. Spaz Drilly, locked up for 15 years after killing James Rivera in 2020. Lee Drilly, sentenced to 6 years under Operation Drilly. The mass arrests killed the Drillies' momentum. The music dried up. The streets moved on.
Yo, Flock. Come outside, Flocka. Come play. Where the bro come play? Come play today. You always playing on the internet. I want you to come play today.
And Suave, he came home too late, missed the wave, made no real money from rap. So he went back to the only thing he knew, the streets. And that's how he died. Suave Drilly was a soldier, loyal to the end. He repped the Drillies from day one, put his life on the line, made enemies everywhere, and never backed down. But that same fearlessness, that same loyalty, it's what got him killed. The Bronx is a different place now. The drill scene has slowed. The Drillies are scattered. And Suave, he's gone. Rest in peace, Suave Drilly. A legend in the Bronx. A crash out until the very end. And to everyone watching, remember this. The streets don't love you back, ever. If you made it this far, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments.